I'm Ken, and I'm joined today by Brad, and for the first time, Doug.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Doug.
Hello,
How
Brad.
are we today?
I'm okay.
So today we will be reviewing the third episode of the Netflix original series Warrior Nun. And to start off, Brad is going to give us a brief synopsis of the episode.
So the synopsis for episode 3, Ephesians 6:11. Basically, we've got Father Vincent introduces Ava to the history of the Order of the Cruciform Sword, or OCS, which was founded by Ariella of Cordoba. So we get our Warrior Nun Ariella reference. Finally, Mother Superior, not Superior, but Superior, trains Ava to draw out her cowardice. She basically just tries to neg her into, getting through her BS, and confronts her with the orphanage's files contention that she committed suicide, which Ava denies, and it seems as if that is actually the case, that she committed suicide with some sort of painkillers. But Father Vincent ends up instructing Mother Superior to give Ava a chance, kind of go a little easier on her. Later on, Ava flees at the end of the episode, leaving a note for Father Vincent: "I want my life," or "I want to live my life." Mary interrogates her sister, Shotgun Mary, interrogates McCready, who was the leader of the mercenaries from the last episode, and he says he doesn't know what it was in the crates that the group was transporting for ArcTech, and concludes that the rigged crate may have been meant to kill only Shannon, Sister Shannon, who was killed in the first episode. JC, which is the guy that Ava meets, as leader of the criminals, or whatever you want to call them. He and his friends enter a new mansion that they're going to stay in for a few weeks, but they're actually confronted by Dr. Salvius, right? The woman's name?
Salvius.
Who's seeking Ava and wants them to go ahead and give her a call whenever she pops up. So that's kind of the synopsis for the episode. This episode, I will note, contains no specific battle scenes or fighting. Does not contain a lot of special effects. It is a much more character-driven episode, and I think it lays the groundwork for Ava's transition from victim to mover in the
To Warrior Nun?
in the story. Yeah, that's right. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a really kind of, I don't want to say slow episode, but yeah, there was not a lot of action.
I think it might be, yeah.
There was not a lot of action. There was more, we learned a lot of history. There was more character development. My favorite scene from the episode was when Ava finally met Shotgun Mary. And it was brief, but it was, like, in my opinion, a really cool interaction, and I can't wait to see more interactions between those two, because they're kind of like the two stars of the show. But it was fun to learn more about, like, Sister Beatrice and Sister Isabel, and meet Mother Superior.
Which one was Sister Beatrice?
Sister Beatrice is the Asian nun that kind of befriends Ava.
Oh, okay, the one that's actually nice to her. Okay.
Right.
Yep, that's right. Yep. Yeah, she was really played up as a likable character in this episode, and I think it was her real introduction as, like, Ava's confidant.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, like, the more, I mean, I know Sister, like, Shotgun Mary paints Sister Isabel as kind of a selfish person or whatever in the last episode, but to me, she comes off as a really likable character too, just because we
didn't get to see her a lot this episode.
Wasn't she the one training with Ava?
Briefly, yeah, she was, although there was not a lot of, there weren't a lot of voice lines from her. She didn't really do anything except kind of try to beat up Ava.
I mean, yeah, she talked about Ava not taking it seriously enough, and I mean, there was some dialogue between the two of them.
A bit, yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I know they tried to like I said with Shotgun Mary, they tried to paint Isabel as like a selfish person or whatever. But to me, she comes off as really like she's there for a good cause. She's trying to do the right thing. She's very serious about the whole thing, but I don't think that that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? It seems like it's serious work. So,
Well, you got to remember also that in that scene, you know, she's sparring with Ava. And I say sparring because Ava's not really doing much, but you know, Mother Superior has to stop her from basically, you know, going ham on Ava. You know, at the end when Ava realizes that she's not actually getting hurt, she's just reacting to what she thinks is going to hurt her, right?
right.
And so you know, and so.
I don't know.
Isabella, right? Isabella's, you know, kind of like trying to beat the crap out of her, not really doing anything, and then Mother Superior stops her and says, "Okay, that's enough."
That's true. I guess Ava's reaction kind of makes it seem playful, so it
Help me
doesn't
out
seem
here.
serious.
Sister Isabel, I thought that was Sister Lilith, was the proper bearer, the
you're
girl
right,
that
Doug.
was supposed to have the halo.
That's right.
You're right.
Sister
Yeah, it
Lilith.
is Sister Lilith. No, I was just going to say that one thing that episode 2 did not have very much Ava, and this episode was almost all about Ava. You saw very little of Ark and very little of JC and his group. It was almost all Ava.
That's true.
Um,
It was a very main character focused episode. Doug, what'd you think? You know, as someone who has pretty much, you know, watched all 3 episodes, you know, right on top of each other.
I did. I did. I watched.
What was your opinion?
Well, there's a lot of. Oh, okay. So in general about the show, there are a lot of things I really like. A few things that I just will have to accept that maybe I liked a little less. But I mean, I really like the actress that they picked. It's kind of like a mixture of Ellen Page and what's the chick who
Right.
played Katniss
Ah,
Everdeen? Except
Elliot Page.
in a
Elliot Page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's changed now. So
That's true.
except shorter somehow than all of those people. And I also really like the
True.
the cinematography. They film from her perspective whenever she's the focus of the scene. So everybody looks tall and gigantic, towering. Even the other women tower over her, and you could see that in the perspective. And I thought, oh, that was really cool, right from the get-go in the first.
Right, the camera's kind of an eye line for Ava.
Right, exactly. And even though she's really short, and you know, I like that they picked Andalusia as the location too, because of all the places in the world, that is one of the very few locations where you have Greek, Carthaginian, Old Catholic, and
Right.
more architecture all on top
It
of
is-
each other, all
It is
overlapping.
a beautiful location and really has a lot of history.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Absolutely.
conquered by everybody. So, and they weren't destroying; they were building
Yep.
on top of what they had conquered in each phase for 1,000 years of time. So it ends up being a really interesting place. So you've got really interesting buildings to work with and places to put people, different scenery to work with, especially for a like a Catholic centered storyline. So I really like that location, and what the scenes have been awesome.
Yeah, the location scout for this show really has a lot to be, you know, happy with. So
Oh yeah. It's pretty cool. I would love to visit that place sometime. I've never been. Gosh, I'm just trying to figure out where to go from there. The first episode, I really enjoyed it. It was like moved the story quickly, just got right in. At first, I was a little skeptical of hearing the internal monologue narration of the main character, Ava. But I got used to it, and it's kind of adds the comical element. She's just walking down the street, but like her commentary is what makes it whimsical and funny, and adds the suspense levels when it's necessary. So, I mean, to me, it's a little it's telling, not showing, but it's fine. It's acceptable. It was good.
that particular conceit has been hit and miss for me. I have found it a little intrusive at times, but then also it's been endearing at times. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they improve their I don't know, their timing or their when that comes in, because it has been a little hit and miss for me. But yeah,
Uh,
at times endearing.
I'll be honest with you. At first, I was with Doug. I was like, I don't like this. It takes me out of the scene almost. It takes me out of the fact that I'm watching something. But this last episode, I really didn't even notice it was there. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm remembering those scenes, and I'm remembering now that, oh yeah, she was narrating it. But while I was watching it, I didn't even notice that it was happening in this last episode. So I think it's gotten a lot better.
Yes, I would concur with that. Like, it happened briefly in different points throughout the story, but it wasn't. I don't know. They spent a lot of time in the first episode, definitely, where it's just she's just in her head the whole time. So I mean,
Right.
you're gonna have a different opinion based off of that versus, when they kind of tone it down a bit. Um, I don't know. I really liked the first episode. It transitioned fine into the second. The friends, would you say the boy character that she is obviously
JC.
into, JC? Yeah. I mean that their selection for the content of that group of friends is definitely a modern pick, I guess you could say. The way that they choose a damaged love interest to show sensitivity and make her go, "Oh, I like you because you're showing this sensitivity." I mean, it's kind of feels all constructed artificially, but well, it's fine. Whatever. They haven't had a major
Yeah,
impact
I don't
yet.
know for that group. That group like I like JC. I think he's a good character. He seems to have a little bit of depth, but the rest of the group you don't really know anything about them at all, and they just are kind of there. So they don't seem very important. I don't see them being around for very much longer. So
I
eh.
do see them being around for very much longer. I predict
I
they'll
believe so.
be
Yep.
persistent until
Yep.
fans crap on it until enough to where
I
they
think
ditch
the
them.
next episode will probably feature them quite extensively,
I
since she has escaped from the Abbey.
Yes, she'll probably seek them out. Don't know how she'll find them, but she's got a halo. Who knows what she can do?
True.
True. She can levitate. I know that.
She can levitate and run through walls, sort of. She can
Mostly.
get stuck in the wall like Jubilee, artificial, accidental mishaps. I wonder if she can carry other people. She takes her sword and her clothes through the wall. Why not people, right?
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Who
Yeah, I
knows?
don't know.
We'll see
Me
with
and
the
Brad both
further
liked
episodes.
episode 2 a lot more than we liked episode 1. We both enjoyed episode
Yeah.
1, but we both thought episode 2 was superior. For me, this episode was, like I said, it's a little bit slower, and it was more character development and history and lessons and things like that, which is fine. Shows need that.
It's the exposition episode, and a character development,
Right.
episode. These things happen, and they
Yeah.
need to be.
If you want to
part
focus
of
on
the series.
if you want to focus on episode 3, this is what we're really reviewing today.
Indeed.
It's I mean, that episode. Let's see. What was the? They focused a lot on Ariella. That's how you say her name, Ariella of Kulba. I don't know where that is,
Yep.
but as
Warrior Nun Ariella. Yep.
yes, yeah, so that's the origin of where the Halo came from. Michael apparently was so impressed with her bravery fighting all the Arabs that he blessed her, brought her back to life.
Was not Michael.
Was it not Michael? Who was it? Gabriel? No, it
No,
was like
it
some
was,
big shot angel like that. Who was
oh.
that?
Yeah, it was actually an angel that I had not heard a name of previously. It is, you know what? I wish I could give you the name, but I just don't have it right now. It's like Arabella or something. Don't know. Go ahead.
Well, I don't feel bad about that. Like whatever, it's just the name. In fact, I didn't even know that it was a halo at first. They pull in the initial scene where the nun yanks the halo out of Sister Shannon, and when she dies, and she holds it up, and then the priest there goes, "Hadel, the Hadel," and I was like, "Oh, that's a weird name. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to repeat that." And then 5 minutes later, they're like, "It's the halo, the halo," and I'm like, "Well, why did they leave that in? That was weird." Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, she was okay. So she obtains the halo. She ends up. Oh, and then she ends up hunted by that creature, the Tarask, right? Eventually, she forms the
Yeah, the
Sisterhood.
Tarask was episode 2. Yeah.
Right, but the point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But in
It,
Ariella was
yeah.
eventually killed.
Ariella.
Was
Yeah.
eventually killed by the Tarask, despite being a badass warrior
That's true.
who'd been killing people all of her life. Despite having an elite group of warrior nuns with her, she still got her ass kicked by the Tarask. So that, I think, had a big contributing factor in Ava going, "All right, I'm out." And it's interesting that when Ariella did depart, that she left her vest behind, because like I'm like, okay, so she either,
Not sure where that's going. Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know. I try to think of it from her perspective. If you want me to stay here and like have not be a prisoner in air quotes, but you wanted to keep track of me, you'd put a vest on me and tell me that's the only thing protecting me from the demon. I mean, it makes sense. I could get there.
Right.
You know, so like first thing I want to run away. Is
the
throw that
demon.
off.
The demon has found her previously, though. I mean, she has evidence that the demon can find her. The priest is the only person that has given her information on how that might have happened,
Right, which
and
could
then
all
told her
be a
that the
lie.
room and the vest. Oh, sure.
Oh yeah,
it could be.
the demon was after
but,
you. It wasn't after
mean,
us. It wasn't after anything else. It was after you. You see, I mean, you got to think like a
I think
deceptive,
it was-
evil
well,
person
yeah,
to see
anyway.
where her suspicion might be taking her.
But not only that, but I mean, she's proven to be someone who runs away from her problems,
Yes.
and
Yep,
to
sure.
her, this is all a big problem. And she might not want to get, if the demon is chasing her and she stays there, maybe she's going to get a lot of these people killed, and she might not want to deal with that. So she's running, not really thinking logically about it, just running away from it because that's just her instinct. You know what I mean?
I will tell you, I was a little bit confused by why she would have left the vest, other than, I guess, just to, get rid of all of the accoutrements, that are associated with that abbey or whatever. But I mean, she was informed that the vest, acted in a way that whatever room, acted in, that she was in previously, that prevented the Tarask from, or at least dampened the energy signature. I don't know. I mean, my impulse maybe would have been to, slide through the wall with the vest on, since she was able to do so previously. But you know what? That's the way it is.
I didn't
She
think
left the vest. She's out.
I didn't think much of it. I mean, like Doug said, she has no reason to trust these people, So I don't know. I didn't really think that much of it. I just was like, oh, okay, she left the vest.
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite scene in the show, in this episode, I think, was probably the Shotgun Mary scene with the mercenary, and he's got her, she's got him, kind of on the cliff's edge or whatever, and then he kind of figures out, oh well, she's a nun, she's not going to kill me or whatever, and so she tosses him his gun at the end of the conversation. And I kind of took that as like, okay, she's giving it back to him so that when he goes for it, because she knows he's going to do it, then she can just blow him off the fucking edge
Right.
of the cliff.
She tosses the gun at his
and she
feet,
does.
turns to walk
Yeah.
away, and then turns and shoots him before he can shoot her. Yeah, it was,
Right, yeah, because he grabs the gun, lifts it up, and it's obvious that he's going to go ahead and fire one off in her direction anyway. Yeah, and she just whips around with the shotgun, boom, blows him off the cliff. I think it's great. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
yeah,
she
that
set
was a
him
cool
up.
scene for sure.
She set him up.
For sure.
I thought that it very succinctly captured what seems to be, the core Shotgun Mary component, which is I'm a badass. I kind of know what you're gonna do, and you can't beat me.
And it sets
Yeah.
her limits too. Like she's not going to just
Right,
kill him
that's
in
true,
cold
yeah.
blood like a Captain Mal. She's
That's
gonna
right.
she's gonna make him act first.
See, there you go. Yeah, that's the good reference from Firefly. There you go.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens between Shotgun Mary and Ava. I mean, maybe they become friends, like Shotgun Mary and Shannon were. Maybe Shotgun Mary is the one who convinces Ava to come back to the nunnery and join them and join the good fight or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
suspect
Maybe
she
they
would be
become
around.
adversaries. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that you see all these little signs of Shotgun Mary around. I mean, I don't remember which episodes, but she's in photos with Shannon. She's like got little homages to her in the background. You see around that like paint a different picture of her than the asshole that's like walking around. Excuse me, am I supposed to cuss? Doesn't matter.
That's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
I think I said that.
so I mean, she's obviously has a different side to her than what you're just seeing. She's very damaged. Her best friend just got killed right in front of her. And she's all messed up in the head and running around wanting revenge. And so we're only seeing that one side of her right now, the hard, damaged side. So there's probably a lot to explore with her still.
One of the scenes that kind of weirded me out was the scene where Ava comes in and gets Sister Shannon's old room, but all of her stuff and all of her personal belongings are still there. And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll just have." One of the other sisters says, "Oh, I'll just have that cleaned up for you."
That was weird.
And it's like
that
look,
weirded me out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna give me the room, don't bring me into like this person's old room with everything all like still here and all of her personal photos and drawings and whatever. The bed, the sheets probably not washed.
Right.
Still
Or whatever.
smells like her.
I thought that was bizarre.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm like,
Right, exactly.
I'm like, maybe this is why she left. She's like she was cool with everything, and then they brought her into Shannon's room and was like, "Hey, this is the girl who just died.
Yeah.
Here, I know all of her stuff is still here, but this is your room now.
Who sent her to
later."
that room? Who said, "Here, go follow this person to your new room"? Was that the priest or was that the
I don't think it was
nun
Beatrice.
lady?
It was one of the nuns. I think it. I can't remember.
I mean, it might have been on
who exactly it
purpose.
was.
It might have been like,
Yeah.
"Hey, outsider."
I think I think maybe it was Camilla.
You know what I'm saying?
I think maybe it was Sister Camilla that let her in. But who was a friend of
Right.
who is it? Sister Beatrice, right? And seems to be kind of like
Nice enough.
one more degree away from Ava as the center of the story. Yeah, it just weirded me out.
Yeah, that was the weirdest scene of the episode for sure. That was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, my explanation is definitely rationalizing. Like, it was weird. It's definitely weird.
It was weird.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I did like was the inference that Ava did not kill herself, did not have, did not overdose on painkillers, because how would she, right? She
That is weird.
she doesn't really have use of her arms or legs or anything like that. She like she said, she didn't feel anything from the chest down for ever since the accident. So why would she use painkillers? And then but yet she dies by virtue of or by way of an overdose of painkillers. It indicates to me that the very distant and uncaring sort of sister that was taking care of Ava in that orphanage maybe had
I
some
agree.
issues.
There's like
I agree with
cryptic little
that too. Yeah.
voices that she
Yep.
hears in her memory that kind of like tilt in
Right.
that direction too. Oh, the poor child. It's a mercy. She's better off. Like, yeah.
See, now that's something that I had not remembered specifically, but since you kind of viewed them all at once, 1, 2, and 3, you probably caught that.
The very first
and it came
episode when
back
she
to
comes
you.
to life.
Yeah, see, there you go.
There's
Yep,
little indicators.
that's a good catch.
Here's a little catch for you. The nuns in the practice room where they're all fighting, they have these targets up and they're shooting. I don't know what, some kind of guns that look like airsoft or paintball, and they're target shooting. And right behind the targets, there's all these nuns like practicing. Like, it doesn't matter what they're shooting out of those guns; they would literally be just tagging those practicing sparring nuns constantly with it if they were really doing that. It was really funny. I was like, that's weird.
I had a brief thought of the same thing. I'm just like, that's weird.
You're
They seem
sparring
to be
a
in very
paintball
close
just
proximity
beams
to
you in
each
the
other to do that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Even if they're paintball or something, yeah, it's still gonna take you out of your training.
That is some
you get
that's
hit
some
by one.
hardcore training though, right there. Like
That is, yeah.
Like, hey, you guys are gonna train sparring over here
In the back
while
of-
people are shooting paintballs at you.
It's the
Yeah.
American Gladiators crap.
Yeah,
Go
that is
fight on-
hardcore right there.
Knock your opponent off the pedestal while getting tagged with.
But yeah, it's something that when you catch, you're just like, what?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what was I looking at here? The rules are kind of weird too. So far, like there's a lot of mystery involved with this divinium substance,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and
Yeah, it glows blue in the presence of, quote, a significant energy source.
Is that
is
what
what
it
is what
the doctor.
who is it? Dr.
Salvius.
Right, yeah, Salvius, yeah.
I can never remember.
What she mentions is, there's a significant power source that is required, or energy source that's required to make this crap glow blue.
And the halo allows this chick.
And I guess the halo is it.
So the halo allows the bearer to heal rapidly if you're cut with something, but the divinium cuts you and you stay hurt.
Unless it's divinium.
And that's interesting. This is an
Yep.
interesting property.
Same thing. Yeah, divinium is the sort of kryptonite to not only the demons but also the warrior nun, right? And of course, I assume now this is not even mentioned in the series so far that divinium is like what maybe angel swords are made of, or demon swords are made of, right? So like when the war in heaven happened,
That was my
they gotta have
impression.
something that can hurt each other, right?
That something.
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my impression. Something to do with these are angelic weapons that were passed down during the Crusades through some angels, since obviously they were talking to angels and whatnot. And
Right.
so they have these items, and at one point Ariella had the sword, which was made out of divinium. And we've seen them dig the artifacts out of the ground. They pulled a 6-pound shield.
Right.
And they're like 6 pounds.
That shield.
That's
Yeah.
such a big deal, especially since we're in a
That's
country that
that's
would
a
never
lot
use
of
pounds.
divinium.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're.
Oh, wait.
I noticed the accent and thing.
Well,
too.
no, wait. So Dr. Sylvanas or whatever her name is called, she's American.
Is she?
Okay, she was, yeah.
Oh no, it's
and
her,
she
her
is,
daughter that is. Okay. Got
that's
it,
right.
got it,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Is English
I
or
think they
whatever,
I think they actually did say 6 kilos though, didn't they?
Did they?
yeah. No, they said 6 pounds.
Pounds.
Did they?
I am almost
My
certain.
brain's telling me.
But
it
either way,
was pounds.
this is a real granular kind of thing, guys.
I know, but
Like trust my memory enough. so-
What did you guys think? What did you guys think about Ava's internal narration where she calls Mother Superior the boss bitch? Right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh no, this is a boss bitch, or whatever.
that
I was like, oh, okay, sure.
I don't know. Whenever they like break like that, like to me, it takes me out of it. Like when Shotgun
bit.
Mary starts like saying the F word and things like that, I'm like, what is happening? Like this is so. These are like these apparently have been nuns for a long time. Like I don't know. It
Well-
takes me out of the scene.
they've all referred to, or at least what's her name?
They all have a past.
Oh gosh, I can't think of her name now. Lilith, Sister Lilith, refers to her Shotgun Mary as like an outsider, someone who didn't really belong with them anyway.
Yeah, so it seems like Shotgun Mary was not did not take the normal path to nunhood, and was maybe brought in without the kind of nun religious training that maybe some of the other nuns
So
were,
they already treat her as like
underwent.
different.
But yeah,
so,
that's true.
So I mean, her cursing when none of the other nuns are running around cursing, though, are they? Just her.
Yeah, specifically Lilith, taps Ava and takes her feet off from under her for saying shit or whatever.
Right.
During their little scene together, and she's like language, but
So what's the thing?
but yeah. Apparently, other than Sister Mary, it's,
And of
It's a
course
thing.
Ava, who's not. She's a non-believer, as they call it.
right, yeah, non-believer, yeah. It's,
So what do you think
it's a big
about the
deal,
little
she's
sneaky,
like not sure what's going
the
on.
ways that I guess almost whimsical ways that they've been handling their throwing in their woke conceptualizations.
This is
Like her
definitely
little
a show
comment,
that is post.
in episode 3, she's walking and they with the priest, and he's telling her Ariela's history, and they reach this fountain with a
Right.
statue, and she's like, "Oh, thanks, patriarchy. Where's Ariela's statue?" Like throwing in little
Right.
comments like that.
And you mentioned it earlier with with the diversity of the criminal crew, right?
Well,
and
the artificially
and the types of people that are
imposed-
included there.
Yeah, the odd. I mean, it's
Make
constructed
the
that way
makeup of
on
that
purpose,
crew. Yeah.
to be like, oh, we need a trans
Sure, yeah.
person. We need I don't know, what's the girl? I don't know. We need a bitchy girl. We need the guy, the love interest to be.
It does seem like they constructed it rather than put together actors that just had charisma or whatever.
And of course the
Together.
two, and like
but,
that's a weird dynamic for a chick to step into, by the way, which they're not even going to mention or talk about. I promise you they won't, because you're looking at a guy.
What, the two girl, two guy
Well,
thing?
the guy is already like, oh, I'm damaged because all this horrible thing happened. All these horrible things happened to me. What is it? His mom died, I think, or his dad died. I forget. Someone died.
His dad died.
His dad died. Yeah, and so he's all broken and messed up, and that's why he's like on this thing. And he's got 2 women that follow him, one trans woman and one natural born woman, and they're
Is she a trans woman?
yeah.
I
That
missed
person
that.
is a
Jeez.
famous.
Okay.
That person is a Victoria's Secret model. She's the only trans Victoria's Secret.
Oh, okay. The actor.
I don't
Okay,
know
I see.
I don't know their name.
Yeah,
but I know of her.
I had not put it together, in the show that character was trans.
I
Doesn't
didn't
really matter.
know who they were
Um,
either.
I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter.
recognized them as trans immediately, but I mean, that I looked up
Yeah.
who they were,
Okay.
and I don't remember her name, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it's a very okay. So you got a trans woman and a guy, a damaged guy, as a little friend circle to go around committing criminal acts together. That's a weird dynamic. You would think that those 2 women would be very
Yeah.
protective and like more catty. Like there's a lot of
Well, and
there's a lot of weird
and
things hinted
and,
at that they
and
never
another
followed
guy who doesn't speak, right?
through.
Like
Oh,
the
yeah, the
like
black
the
guy.
bigger
I see. I
the
forgot he
black guy, right?
existed because he has like 3 lines in the whole show.
Because he doesn't speak. Yeah.
He has had very few lines. Yeah, he's had
I
like
forgot he existed. So like, I don't know. I guess it's 2 guys, 2 girls kind of thing. I guess it's not that weird, but he's definitely like, they all are like, oh, poor guy, and then this girl's coming in and like kind of spinning his top, and they're just letting it happen and not saying anything. And I think that they probably would have if it were a more realistic friend dynamic, or maybe
Perhaps
these people don't
when
even know
they,
each other. I don't know.
Perhaps when they kind of delve into the characters of these guys, that's when you'll see the dynamic pop up.
Maybe. I hope so.
Which my guess is that next episode, maybe the episode after, you'll see a lot more of that group. Because she's now escaped the Abbey.
I see hints of chemistry between Ava and the priest, Ava and even Lilith, honestly, a little bit, and Ava and obviously this Asian nun, Isabella. No, not Isabella.
Lilith.
Beatrice.
Oh, Beatrice.
Beatrice,
yeah.
who's obviously kind to
Her
her,
friend, yeah.
her only friend in the nuns, but she's got different types of chemistry with each one, like rivalry chemistry with the proper bearer, Lilith.
Speaking of chemistry, I thought her scene, between her and Shotgun Mary, was pretty good. I mean, as far
was
as
cool.
the 2 characters were concerned, and their kind of play off of each other, it was very short, but I think it paid a lot of dividends, and I think they're going to be really good together, in the future episodes. Much like Ken mentioned, he's looking forward to seeing, more interaction between those 2 so much.
Oh, me too. My point was that I just see a lot of chemistry going on there, a lot of interactions that seem to matter, and then it goes back to the friends, and the friends kind of feel like they
right.
don't matter. Like none of there's like, oh, she has this awkward chemistry, I guess, with the guy JC, but that's it. Like, and then the gosh, I hate to just be like the transgender woman, the transgender woman. I need to know their names, but like helps her to get to pick out an outfit, hooks her up with a dress so they can go out and party, and so like that was that like one little moment. And I don't even think the other girls had any interaction with her. I don't think the black guys had any interaction with her. Like it's such a
Not much. They had a meal together, I think.
That's what I mean about that
so
group.
Yeah, you had
going on there.
you have Chanel, right? So you have Chanel, you have Randall, and then Randall's
Yeah, tell me their
Randall's
names if
the
you
African American guy. JC is the JC. and then Zori, right?
But that's what I mean about that group. They're so nondescript. She has very few interactions with anyone other than JC, and they just seem so unimportant. And like you said, she's had no real exchanges with them that seem significant in any way, which is why it just feels to me that they don't really matter. I mean, I guess we might be seeing more of them in the next episode because, yeah, she's probably running back to them, but then what? I mean, is she going to be are they going to be around for the rest of the season? Are we going to have more meaningful interactions with them? Are they going to have any more significance? Like, I don't have any issues with any of them as characters other than just what is their significance? What is their worth so far into the show? And so far, it has been almost nothing. It's been, I mean, they're basically they've been plot devices up to this point. You know what I mean?
You are, yeah, that very much feels like the case. And the character that you're referring to, Doug, is Chanel May Simone Lifshitz, who is I think like the second transgender model.
Okay. I know that the person's famous
for Victoria's Secret.
So Victoria's Secret model, yeah.
Yeah, but specifically, the show does not mention that character is transgender. It's never referred to. So
that's true. Like,
yeah, which I mean, it's a rarity for transgender actors to secure a role that doesn't mention anything about transgender. So
true.
It's good. It's some serious. It's one of those things. It's like not every African American actor has to secure a role where like the thing that they are is black.
Right. Yeah. I mean, is Shotgun Mary's black? The fact that she's black really significant? I don't think so.
Right. Exactly.
It's just
no,
it's not significant. So
yeah.
thing. She's just in a role.
Right.
That's it.
But yeah, that character's name is Chanel, and so going forward, you'll know that.
Chanel.
I guess is how we're calling
I didn't catch the
Chanel,
other one's name. What was the other girl's name?
Zori. Yep.
She's blonde.
So, JC, Randall, Chanel, and Zori. Yep.
Got it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, they could pick any one of those 4 people and like have the demon arrive and kill 3 of them and just pick one and like have that be the one that goes with her. Like that would be fine with me. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't feel. I'm not attached to any of them, so anyone could do it.
Yeah.
If they want to. like
I can't argue with you, Doug.
I mean, they could roll the intersectional dice and try to pick, which one survives. Like. Okay, so something I noticed. Okay, so as far as like the violence in the show, I just want to mention this because I was noticing it when I was watching the first episode. I was looking at my notes. So they brutally rip the halo out of this chick's back, and there's just blood and guts and blood pumping out of the freaking wound and everything, and it's nice and gruesome. So I expect that gratuitous level of violence, I guess, to happen. But then they had like. What was it? The nun? Okay, so when that soldier catches that nun that puts the halo into Ava, he like they have this contrived like he's got his hands around her neck, and they have this contrived like, oh, I broke her neck. Like that was like, okay, so obviously that sets a boundary.
Yeah, and
he didn't strangle her to death with her like the whole. I mean, they could have taken that super vivid if they wanted to. So it kind of like sets the boundary.
Much of that violence was set kind of like. In a long shot, right? Because they were.
That's true.
They had
That's true.
Ava in the shot as well on the table, right? And then it wasn't that those 2 characters, the nun and the mercenary, were in the background, but it was definitely in the long frame. So.
Oh yeah, that was weird...
it was not the visceral sort of.
Yeah, they didn't want. I mean, to me, it's like okay, I see that as a boundary. They go, okay, they're not going to have this strangulation scene while she's sitting there traumatized on the floor watching it happen, helpless, trying to figure out how to move. Like that would have been pretty intense if
strangling
they did that.
a nun.
Yeah, strangling the nun. Like that would have been horrific, and it would have set a totally different tone for the show, I think. And then you saw the little vomit scene that she had, where she throws up on the guy, and then. She's like, "Oh my god, that's so disgusting!" She backs up and gets hit by the stealth
by the bus.
Winnebago? I don't know what it was, but
stealth bus, man.
It was a stealth minibus.
You gotta watch those stealth
like,
buses.
So hard.
I have known it since Final Destination, man. I have known
it
since Final Destination. You have to watch out for stealth buses.
So, I'm like, okay, so there's going to be, so I expect there to be some gore, heads exploding, limbs getting cut off, but they're not going to show like vivid torture and stuff like that. So it's like, kind of sets the bar for where it's all going to be. I doubt there's going to be anything like really traumatizing or horrific, but lots of like fake, like, not fake, I don't want to say, I mean, it is fake, gratuitous gore and violence in that respect.
Right. I don't think you're going to see a lot of gore.
Maybe.
You're going to see a good amount of violence, but it's. I think it's going to hold back from being a blood.
Lightweight gore. Ripping halos out of people and having the blood spurt out and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, there was that scene in this episode, in episode 3, where Ariella, swung her sword at that guy's face, and like the blood like kind of spurted out, that you saw. But that was really pretty far removed from
time lapse, slow, yeah,
close
Yeah.
up. Yeah, right.
It was.
That was the only blood I really remember. But yeah,
It was the only action. It was like freeze frame, slow motion.
pretty much. Yeah. Well, I had to look for some action because this episode did not have a lot of it. So.
Not a lot,
This
no.
is just
Yeah,
a lore
Sister
building episode.
Sister Mary shot that one guy, and
Yep.
yeah, Ariella killed some people in the past. That was it.
And Ava left the monastery after hearing the story.
Yeah, real quick, like too.
I'm
he was
glad.
like, I'm gonna go over and like check out this paperwork, and then bang, he turns around and he's gone.
Like,
So.
okay, so I'm watching Van Helsing for the second time, and the fact that they use the same like 8 scenes for 10 straight episodes, like I had this residual thing in my mind from the first time I watched it years ago that I felt like they were in that hospital forever. Well, I just rewatched it. They're in that hospital forever. So when this chick Ava beats the scene, she's like, "Okay, this is cool, but I'm out." I'm like, "Thank you, applause, please."
Golf clap later.
Yes. You can edit that
I,
in. Edit
I
in
will
and
again
clap.
reiterate. Yeah, I will again reiterate my fondness for the lead character played by Alba Baptista. She's really great in this.
Yeah,
She was
I
good in
agree.
this episode too. Yeah.
I agree. She's definitely the standout of the show so far. I mean, in every episode
She's a good
from the
actor.
beginning.
Good speaker.
Yeah, she's
good
definitely the
actress.
standout.
She's enjoyable
Yeah.
to watch. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, she's just very likable.
Yeah.
And
She's a-
so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
even
does
though
a
the
great
character's
job, for
kind of
sure.
stupid and obnoxious.
She's done some less than likable stuff, but yeah, I still she's still I'm still very warm toward her.
But I mean, at least you understand why she's stupid. She
Oh
was
yeah.
in a car accident at a young age. She lost her parents, and she's been a paraplegic for the last however long. She died, and now she just
Right,
came back
yeah.
to life and has superpowers. So
Possibly was murdered.
right, yeah.
Was murdered. Yeah.
And now not only does she have full use of her body, but she has superpowers. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Like,
Pretty cool.
Of course she's
and
got a
and she's
little
still
weird.
pretty young.
Gives you a lot of room for
Yeah,
forgiveness
exactly.
of her to do things that seem weird and irrational that normally would be out of place in a story where you've established set
Everything's
patterns
new
for
to her, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of love that. I kind
Exactly.
of love that there is
Right.
a character where they can literally have her do anything and it would be justified.
Yeah, I agree.
So it feels freeing. You're like, anything.
So
can
yeah, I
happen.
think that's I think that pretty much does it for episode 3.
For sure.
Any further thoughts, gentlemen?
Just an overall appreciation for the way that the writers / director / producer, whoever's making the decisions, is painting the Catholic Church as like humanity's only hope, but also corrupt and spits on it at every possible opportunity.
Problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, it is a series that seems to have a lot of moral gray area.
Well, that's
You know?
postmodernism, man. Postmodernism has influenced
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
of our art.
Yes. Self-referential and tearing down. Yeah, it's one of those things. But I don't know. The show's good. It's not Shakespeare, right? But
No,
it's
no.
fine.
Yeah, it's fun.
So
It's fun. I'm definitely excited for the next episode.
Yeah,
I'm curious
I'm
to see where
interested
this
in
is all going. Like I said, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen between Shotgun Mary and Ava.
read both
I'm
of
glad we're starting to get to know the other nuns better. I want to learn more about them. And after this episode didn't have any action, It seems like with her on the run again, there's probably going to be more demon attacks and more action in the next episode. So
and
I'm
without
definitely
any
looking.
protection from the vest or whatever, yeah,
Right.
so something's going to track her
So
down.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. So
Oh,
that's it. Yeah.
Good deal.
yeah. Episode 4 is probably where it explodes. Let's cross our fingers and hope, since we had to go through this backstory episode, which was a little bit slower. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely looking forward.
I'll
to
mention that all of the episode names are specific, Bible passages, right? And they link into the episode in one or more, different ways, and it can be kind of like, kind of a map for that episode. So if anybody's interested in like looking at the actual,
Interesting. I didn't.
passages, you can
let's
take
I
a
didn't even
that.
catch that.
I did catch that, and I noticed it on the. Well, I'm not familiar with the Bible passages, so I can't really interpret it.
Yeah.
But I think that might be something good to bring up during your synopsis, like when you're.
Yeah, I'll maybe go through and take a look at that, and then see if I can read that in.
I mean, and then
That's a good.
could also
That's a good plan.
confirm
I like that.
What you're saying, like down the line,
Cool.
too, like you can always reference back to.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's.
Yep,
I'm
indeed.
sure there's a whole bunch of. I'm sure that they follow a theme based on that.
Right. Yeah. All the episode titles, those Bible passages do have like 3 or 4 or so hooks, into the episode. So, anyway, I'll take a look at that for next time, and then we'll go back and maybe go over the ones for the other episodes too. But
Well, awesome.
I'll at least look at the one for episode 4 next time.
Well, great. Have a great week.
Have a wonderful time.
See you on next week. I'm gonna go watch number 4 right now.
I'm Ken, and I'm with Brad and Doug, and we are something to be determined. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.